Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. I know what you're thinking. You're like, Jules, you got a blush? And man, that blush really complements your lipstick. I know, because it is my lipstick. Like, that is the poor woman's blush, okay? I just take a little lipstick and add it to my cheeks too. My situation is that it is crazy windy in the high desert as usual, and I'm having a little something. Okay, I say it's asthma, it may very well be. It may be a mild cold, I don't know. But you can't even mention that because everybody will just say, you have the COVID. Like, should we already prepare your funeral now? I'm like, can you calm down? In any other year, it would be a common cold. But now everything is the COVID, right? Oh, I'm so sorry. And I am sorry for the people who have COVID, but it's not me, okay? I just have a little something. And again, it could just be my asthma. All right, that said, I would like to talk about cinnamon. I don't think I've done a video on cinnamon. And the reason it even came to mind was because I love it, okay? I love cinnamon. It has well, we'll talk about it, but whatever the case is, I love to sprinkle it on my bananas. I love to put it in dips. I just think it's fabulous. And the thing is, it is very good for you, but like anything, too much is a problem. And so my husband was like, Juliana, how much cinnamon do you have on those bananas? Like, is there any banana left? All I see is cinnamon. Well, in my brilliance, I was kind of at the bottom of the container, and I was like, I'll just go ahead and, I don't want to waste any. And I literally think I put almost like a 4th cup of cinnamon. Okay, like it was caked on the whole container. It was not my best idea ever. And then he, being a nurse, was like, that's not good, Juliana. That can be a problem. Too much cinnamon is too much. And I'm like, no, it's just cinnamon. Like, seriously. And he's all, no, let's look it up. Evidence is a nightmare. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, so maybe I overdid it. So then what I did with my next thing of cinnamon, I literally measured a teaspoon and happily put it all over and realized I didn't even need the whole teaspoon. Like, that was a lot of cinnamon, even in just a teaspoon. And it says like 130-pound woman, and granted, I weigh quite a bit more than 130 pounds, should not exceed a teaspoon a day or it could become toxic. So I got to be thinking about that. Because did you even know that just above a teaspoon could be toxic? Wow. Okay, so this is from the People's Pharmacy. And it reads, cinnamon offers health benefits, but also carries serious risks. And I, of course, will include this as part of the description of the video. Pros and cons of cinnamon. My mouth waters just looking at the cinnamon. It's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. Okay. For a spice that has a history going back over 4,000 years, you would think that there wouldn't be much controversy or confusion. Au contraire, the pros and cons of cinnamon have made headlines for years now. You might have encountered 2 completely contradictory stories that ran on NPR, National Public Radio. One quotation read, when is cinnamon spice not so nice? The Great Danish Debate. And the other one read, cinnamon can help lower blood sugar, but one variety may be best. Okay, so what is cinnamon? Part of the confusion on the pros and cons of cinnamon involves what is and is not true cinnamon, meaning some things that we receive aren't even authentic cinnamon. So cinnamomum verum is native to Ceylon, which is Sri Lanka. Thank you very much. I have family that lived there. China and Southeast Asia are the home of Cinnamomum cassia, which is a related species that has an equally long history. Cassia is the more familiar one to me. Ancient Egyptians included both forms of cinnamon in their embalming. Okay, in their embalming formula for mummifying pharaohs because of the spice's lovely aroma. Okay, I can appreciate that. And preserving powers. The Bible refers to both cinnamon and cassia, which were used for aroma and flavor, and both types are derived from the bark of trees. In modern times, these two species are used interchangeably to flavor both sweet and savory dishes. What you find on the spice shelf in the supermarket is usually cassia cinnamon because it is more readily available and cheaper than Ceylon cinnamon, again from Sri Lanka. The flavors are subtly different. And subtle means minimally, right? You won't notice much difference. Okay, so the pros and cons. Just a second. You know how things pop up every second? Like there's this major ad interrupting. And I'm like, come on. I just want to read the article. Please, please. I'm always being hijacked. Okay. The most critical issue is whether they have the same medicinal properties and safety profile. Most of the research showing that cinnamon can lower blood sugar has utilized cassia cinnamon. The extracts that are sold in health food stores are also primarily derived from cassia cinnamon. But here's the rub. Cassia, forgive me if I'm freaking you out with my pronunciation. Cassia cinnamon from China, Vietnam, or Indonesia contains coumarin. And that's coumarin, coumarin. Don't confuse it with Coumadin, okay, which is an anticoagulant drug. And there is no connection, right? Okay, so coumarin, M-A-R-I-N, coumadin, M-A-D-I-N. Coagulant is when your blood comes together. Anticoagulant is to obviously remove the clots. Okay, so coumarin is found in varying amounts in different brands of cinnamon. When consumed at high levels, coumarin can cause liver damage in susceptible people. Again, like these are people who already have pre-existing, how do I want to say that? Well, let's just say they have to be susceptible, and that's not true for everybody. Okay, so that is why Danish regulators cracked down on a beloved treat we know as cinnamon swirls. Okay, like seriously, kanelsnigle in Danish, which is literally a cinnamon snail. And who hasn't seen those, right? Okay, so here's the worries about the coumarin. 5 years ago, the European Union passed strict limitations on the amount of coumarin allowed in food. This is a 2017 article, so a little longer than that. Authorities warned about coumarin levels in traditional cinnamon Christmas cookies. Again, they've got the word for it, Zimsterne. Regulators found some brands of cookies had coumarin levels 20 times higher than permitted by law. Wow, the German Trade Organization complained that the levels were too strict since people only consumed their star-shaped cookies during the holidays. More recently, the Danish Bakers Association has also complained. We must recognize that to get a cinnamon roll to taste like cinnamon, we have to use more than the very small amounts allowed, or it's the end of cinnamon rolls as we know it. I had no idea that this was like a major problem. Oh my goodness. So interesting. While European bakers and regulators argued over coumarin levels in cinnamon-containing baked goods, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration in the United States, seemingly shrugs its shoulders. You think? Because the U.S. could care less about health. Oh my gosh. Like if it's worth the buck, let the people die. Oh my gosh. European regulators are far more concerned about coumarin than their American counterparts. Oh, I read this all the time concerning everything. It's so sad. As far as we can tell, there are no U.S. limits on the amount of coumarin permitted in cinnamon-flavored baked goods in the United States. An analysis of such foods has found coumarin in detectable levels. We're not terribly worried about an occasional cinnamon roll or cookie. What does concern us, however, is the growing trend for people who are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes to regularly consume cassia cinnamon on their oatmeal or toast in order to lower blood sugar levels. A teaspoon of cinnamon daily could pose serious health risks. A teaspoon. Hello, Miss Fourth Cup. Okay, so what about medicinal cinnamon? This is that thing where a little bit of knowledge can be really dangerous because people hear a hot tip and they run with it, right? But they don't look at the whole picture, nor do they practice all the other things that go with it. Like, how often do you see something and it says, oh, do this, and then in small print it says, and eat healthy and diet and exercise daily? Like, that one thing isn't going to solve it, but no one sees the whole picture. So it says, you might assume that it's not a likely problem for most people. Not so fast. A meta-analysis of clinical trials in the Journal of Medicinal Food revealed that cinnamon extract or cinnamon improves FBG, which is the fasting blood glucose, in people with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes. A more recent meta-analysis included 11 randomized controlled trials, and this was the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Diabetics, and the authors conclude that the cinnamon supplements, in addition to standard diabetes treatments, can help lower blood sugar modestly. They suggest, though, that cinnamon should not be substituted for standard care. People love the idea of using a natural product to manage a chronic health problem like diabetes. The promise of the cinnamon was reinforced in the Annals of Family Medicine. The authors concluded that based on currently available literature, cinnamon may have a beneficial effect on fasting plasma glucose, which is the LDL-C and HDL-C, and triglyceride levels in patients with type 2 diabetes. Okay, so yay for that. That's why people go for it. So great. But here was the bad news about the cinnamon. Such studies create appealing headlines. People are told that cinnamon will not only lower blood sugar levels, but also reduce bad LDL cholesterol and triglycerides and raise good HDL cholesterol. A recent review in the medical journal covers Alzheimer's disease, arteriosclerosis, and arthritis, as well as diabetes. That might encourage some people to start consuming high doses of inexpensive cinnamon from their grocery shelves. People love cinnamon particularly because it's inexpensive and it tastes good. That really worries us because regular consumption of inexpensive cassia cinnamon could lead to liver damage. And they actually have a whole another article on that. Coumarin may also interact with other drugs including aspirin, NSAIDs like ibuprofen, naproxen, and other anticoagulants such as warfarin, that's a really big one, which actually goes by the name Coumadin. Yes. Okay. To name a few potential complications. Praise God, I'm off all medication, but I get it. Okay. Over the years, we've heard from many people about the pros and cons of cinnamons. Here are some stories from visitors to this website. And they go on with their testimonies. They've been using Saigon. It made such a difference. I found a sprinkle keeps my blood sugar from spiking. A sprinkle of cinnamon in my oatmeal has helped me. Oh boy, I'm starting to worry. Ooh, here's a bad one. Okay. Oh boy, I'm starting to worry. I've been taking an overdose of cinnamon for the better part of a month. 2 heaping tablespoons. Now, we just said a teaspoon is enough, and that's 6 teaspoons. I have pains in the kidney area just slightly. Have I damaged my liver? If so, does it recover with cessation? So to stop using it. Okay. We advise AP to stop consuming cassia cinnamon. Hopefully her liver will recover if in fact it was even harmed. Like, that was just being responsible. All right. So it says, true cinnamon or Ceylon cinnamon appears to have substantially lower levels of coumarin. Although it costs more, it does have a nice flavor and should be safer than cassia cinnamon. Here is the question we received about the effectiveness of Ceylon, again from Sri Lanka. I understand that Saigon cassia cinnamon contains coumarin, which can be toxic and has been linked to liver damage in some people. Aren't diet and exercise safer options for controlling blood sugar? And the Ceylon cinnamon is safer, but I can't locate scientific evidence showing that it reduces blood sugar. Okay. At one time, we would have said yes without hesitation. For a long time, there weren't any studies showing that Ceylon cinnamon was helpful. However, as more research comes, this answer has become less clear. So they actually have additional support articles. And finally, the cinnamon solution. In 2007, I read on the People's Pharmacy website that we could pour boiling water on the cassia cinnamon using a paper coffee filter as a way of extracting the coumarin. So interesting. The active compound in the cinnamon is water soluble, but the coumarin is not, so you get the benefit without the worry. And it says, Grace got it right. The active ingredient in cinnamon that helps lower blood sugar is water soluble. Using the technique she describes above can be helpful. Some people have complained, though, that it's too much trouble. Duh, everybody wants the instant pill, just fix me. Or that putting ground cinnamon in a coffee filter creates a terrible mess. Blah, blah, blah. There's another solution. Health food stores now sell cinnamon extract that have been purified, so there's no coumarin. One such brand of soluble cinnamon extract is called Cinnulin, CINNULINPF. Okay, that's cool. There's more testimonials if you'd like to learn more. Anyway, super interesting. Just wanted to share since I accidentally ate way too much cinnamon. Praise God, I have a very healthy liver, but I don't want to accidentally hurt my liver either. Anyway, let me know in the comments below if that interested you. Like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. And know that I pray for you guys and that you're blessed.